My name is Kolz and I'm a conversational AI consultant at Artificial Solutions. Today I have the pleasure to run you through our episode, Read Files from Resources. So let's dive into Teneo Studio.
In this episode today we are going to talk about how to add and use resource files in Teneo Studio, which is a great way to store and use static information inside the solution. For the purpose of this video, we will use a solution called Longberry Baristas, which comes already out of the box with all free trial environments on Teneo.ai. The solution is all about helping users to order a cup of coffee. Okay, now let's imagine that we need to import a file that contains the price list of our coffees. First of all, we need to have a file, right? So I've prepared here a little txt file, which can be created as simple as a notepad. Right, and this will be our price list. So this is already saved as txt, and we are going to upload it now to our Teneo solution. So we go to Resources, File, click on Add, and search for our txt file. And now we need to make sure that we change the location, the published location, to script_lib, so that our file becomes available at runtime. Now we need to save. And the next step for us is now to make sure that we can load the data from this file. So we want to do this at the beginning of every conversation that we have and make the data available throughout the whole session. A common way to do that is to add a method for reading txt files in our solution loaded scripts. So we will add here a piece of code, and I will make sure to leave you in the description a link where you can find all the materials and code that you need for this little exercise here. So let's take a look. We have added the required code so that we can load the data from our txt file. And the next step now is to create a global variable, which we will use to store our coffee price list. So we go to variables, add, and we create a variable called coffee price. Since we are creating a map here, we have set the initial m, and we will give it as value the corresponding groovy value for maps and hit the save button. Now that we've got our global variable in place, we will go to begin dialog to our global script so that we can make sure to add the required code to read now with the function that we added before under solution loaded our txt file every time a session initializes. Okay, let's save that. And now we need to check if our code is working correctly and if our data, our coffee price list, is available throughout the session within the global variable that we have created. So let's look into the advanced tryout. Let's reload because we added global script code and the global variable. Let's start a conversation, and we need to check now under state if our global variable holds the price list that we wanted to have. And that's the case. So we were now able to store information inside our global variable, which comes from a txt file. Now, as next step, we could also be interested to store information which is coming from an Excel file, like this one. Again, a price list, similar to what we had before. And we want to make sure that we can also read this Excel file now within our Teneo solution. So we are adding first of all the Excel file, make it available again on the script lib. Make sure to hit the save button. And now again we need the required code so that we can also read an Excel file. So we are going to add here a Groovy code which contains the required classes. Import Excel Groovy, store it under scriptlib. And in this case, we also need some jar files, which are dependencies for this Groovy code that we just uploaded to read the Excel. So we are also going to upload all of these here. And save them also under scriptlib. Continue for saving. And now we have all the resources available that we need to read also our price list from an Excel file. Let's make sure that everything is saved. So what we now want to do is to create an additional global variable which holds the data which is coming from the Excel file. So we are going again to our variables and create another one. This time a list, which we can call L coffee price, a list, initialize it as an empty list, as value, and save it again so that we have that global variable available. And now we want to read our data from the Excel file into this global variable, which we are going to do again on the begin dialog, where we add an additional line of code, which now makes reference to the Groovy code we just uploaded for our import Excel. And we are using the Excel file that we also had uploaded before, so that we store now the coffee prices coming from this Excel file. And now we can take a look. If we reload again the engine, if our Excel data is now also available inside Teneo Studio. So we start a conversation, look again into state to see the current values of our variables, and we will see that we have now the map coffee price which came from txt, and here the list of coffee prices which comes from our Excel file. As you can imagine, it comes in very handy to be able to read data from external files such as txt files or Excel files, and we've seen today that it's very easy to do in Teneo Studio. Please make sure to check out the description below so that you have access to all the files you need for this little exercise, and I hope you join us also in our next episode.